Hello, everyone, and good evening. Thank you for attending to our second GIS workshop. This is the second workshop on the location analytics or location intelligence with GIS, your Geographic Information Systems. This is part of the Center for Singelyn Center for Innovative Analytics. And in this workshop, we have explored decision-making with the location data. Specifically, last time we looked into the best ways to present the spatial information with different metrics. And in this presentation, we are going to also look at the ways that we can do a little bit more in-depth analysis with the help of another tool. And the agenda format will be similar to last time. We have the presentation and then question answer. Please, if you have any questions, you can use the chat window or wait until the presentation is finished. Then we're going to have a break. After break, the people who actually have registered and wanted to get the certificate, you can attend to the breakout room. So we are going to work on a hands-on tutorial. So the second presentation is going to be focused on the ArcGIS insights. And we are going to also have a hands-on tutorial using that tool. Just a reminder, to earn the certificate, you should attend both sessions. You should complete the both hands-on exercises and of course share your work. And we already have sent confirmations for the first round. So you have not sent those, please do it as soon as possible, and we'll mark that activity complete. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest presenter, Canserina Kurnia. She is a senior solution engineer for Esri education outreach team with the main role to provide technical advice and assistance for higher education institutions advancing their GIS technology. She has a bachelor's degree in landscape architecture from IPB University in Indonesia and a master's degree in landscape planning from University of South Wales, Australia. She has been working in GIS technology in Esri for more than 20 years. So please take the time, Canserina, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen okay? Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm glad to be here. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Cal Poly Pomona College of Business Administration team for inviting me to give this guest lecture. So the topic today is about the data exploration and analysis, and the product that I'm gonna introduce is ArcGIS Insight. So this is about how to transform your complex data set into manageable information by visualizing the data in the way that it's easy for the users to understand. So there are many ways to do the data exploration and analysis, and you're probably familiar already, from as simple as Excel, or you using Tableau or other products. So what's I'm gonna bring in here is ArcGIS Insight. And the nice thing about this ArcGIS Insight is it's bring into account the location analytic or the spatial data component. So together with your traditional data, like, you know, you're in the tables, together you can really see the pattern easily or easier, and also see the trends, the correlation, and the relationship in the data. Okay. So as I mentioned, this is really about making sense of the data, and you're turning your data into insight and combining both the tabular data that you have, a lot of you working with tabular business data, and also the spatial data or location data into one media that you can explore. You work together, these two types of data, which is bring more powerful analytic and explorations. So what is the location analytics with ArcGIS Insight? So the ArcGIS Insight is a self-service location analytics that bring GIS into everyday data analysis. You don't really have to be a GIS expert to just use ArcGIS Insight. It is intuitive, it is interactive, and dynamic as well. But it has a lot of functionalities. So you can scale it depending on the skill. Some people with just like very minimum skill level in data analytics can use it like simple visualization, simple analysis. But this tool is also used by data scientists or anybody that actually really working a lot with the data. Okay? So this is the component of that. You have the data, you have the visual analytic, you also have the capability to do advanced analytics and interactive report as well. Now, the capability of this ArcGIS Insights is combine both the approaches. So you're probably familiar with the traditional approach with the data, and also in here you use the spatial approach, like capability of link analysis. You normally do link the chart in ArcGIS Insight. You can link the map, join tables. You normally do the join on the field on the table. In the spatial component, you can actually join this on the shape. Okay? You can aggregate the field, you can do spatial aggregation. So really like all the normal approaches that you do in traditional table, you can still do it, but on the top of that, you have the spatial component on that as well. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give you example from the Insight community. A few example of this ArcGIS Insight. Okay, let me take a look at this, and I'm gonna bring it into the project gallery. Can anybody confirm that you can use the project you can see the Insight gallery?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, awesome. And then I'm gonna also put it in the chat so you can open it and then take a look together with me. Okay, so this is the example of from the Insight community, and if you interested in certain category, you can just select which category that you like, and then open one by one. So I choose a few of them, so just to give you idea. So this one is from South Korea about labor force replacement ratio. So they want to, in the South Korea, they have the aging population that will retire from the workforce, and they need to be replaced by this younger generation. So this is this is the insight to take a look if based on the area, taking into account like how many the young populations, like 0 to 14 years, dividing by the older age, and then they see the rate of replacement. Okay? So you can see over 1.0, there is a surplus labor, and under 1.0 indicate the shortage. And you can see it in many different ways. You can see it in the histogram, you can see it on the map, on the table, on the chart, okay, scatter plot chart, or you can see it as well on the map in here that easily. Take a look of that. The other thing is a different case study. This is actually Insight used for the watershed. So it's they monitor the river flow, they monitor the annual precipitation, and for each of the creek or the river or the location. So then they can create the report in here. The report, they use a lot of this date chart in here, so you can see which month is actually higher flow or lower flow in here. It's kind of like a nice visualization. Okay. And the third one is related more to business, is the retail analytics. And they want to see where are the customer coming from, how far do they travel, how much do they spend, how often. So this is like taking a look of the store performance. So they use the bin in here. There's a chart and then many different type of the chart that you can use, and also the table. And this is narrowing down more on the example of the financial is a banking and branch performance. So on the map, we can take a look of that different bank performance, and there is different name in here. And then with the data, that information about their performance volume, then we can take a look of their performance in the chart as well. And the last one is example. This is interesting. This is bringing the latest, well, it's not the latest, the newer, I guess, capability of the ArcGIS Insight to actually map the relationship. So this one is about the spread virus across border. So you can see that we believe that the outbreak come from the Wuhan and then transmitted then outside China. This, we have the data like about the transportations that's leaving from China to other city in China as well as to other country. So in here is we can take a look here that departure of the flight from China, where they're going. Okay, then from that, they also, then we can see, for example, from the South Korea, it's going to Japan, and from Japan is going everywhere in the world. So there is one first level of the transmission, and the second wave or second transmission from the other location. So if you have the data that actually have the kind of like relationship between places or location, then you can do the relationship mapping like this as well. Okay, and you can scale it to bigger one. This one is more like China has the direct flights that's showing on this map, and we can see like if there is a transmission, then how it go from China itself. Okay. So if you notice in here, you work in the card, there is a map card, there is a chart card, there is a table card, and I think it's very simple actually. Okay. All right, so let's take a look back into the slide. Hope this is give you some idea. Okay. All right, as I mentioned earlier in here is like what you're gonna work in ArcGIS Insight, you work it as a workbook where on the top you have the title in here, and then you bring your data. The first thing when you create the workbook, it will ask you to bring your data, and I'm gonna talk about this more. And you put in the data pen in here, and then you work with the card. As I said, there is several different cards that you work. There is the map card, table card, or the chart card. And you can have more than one page. Maybe you have a project that starts with page 1, then you go and then create another page for different type of analysis, and then etc. Okay. And on the top of that, we have the user interface for you to work with. You can click the plus sign to add the data. You can also add the map using this UI, chart, table. You can build relationship by using this button. You can always undo, redo, save often. There are several widgets, which is additional functionality that you can use. There is an ability as well for you to do scripting. So if there is any functionality that you want, but we don't have it, you can actually write your script maybe in Python or R, and then incorporate it in ArcGIS Insight. You can change the base map of the map, and then you can do, after you done everything, you want to take a look of your analysis flow, you can use this analysis view, and then you always can change the settings of your of your workbook here. Now, there is two way to work with ArcGIS Insight. Either you are the analyst you have the access to everything. Another one is just a viewer. Okay, with the viewer you can share it, especially if you share like your workbook for public. So what they can do is they can just use the page, they can use or take a look of the page view, the analysis view, and documentation. That's it. They cannot do any editing because they just viewer. Okay. All right. So this is the high level list of the 4 core capabilities that ArcGIS Insight offer you. Okay. So it has the capability to do data access and preparations. It has the capability to do exploratory analysis. Okay. You do the statistical and then spatial analysis, and then the component for you to share and do the reporting as well. Okay. Let's take a look one by one. Okay. On the top of that, you can view your analytics, create the analytic models, and also doing the scripting. All right, so let's take a look of this one here. Data access and preparation. This is where the stage that you connect to your data and you do clean it up a bit. You probably do field calculation. You probably add a new field. You do filtering, you join, and where you also enable the spatial component. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that in more. Okay, so this is where you actually do the data wrangling. Okay. So what type of data you can add into ArcGIS Insight? Well, you can have the data files. Maybe you have as simple as Excel, CSV, you have the data from OneDrive, you have the SharePoint, or maybe because you already learned GIS, you have a file geodatabase. You have the shape files, okay? Then you can add it as well. Or you have the in form of JSON and GeoJSON, so you can have that. Or you already have the data in the cloud. Maybe you have the feature layer in ArcGIS Online, or you have it in ArcGIS Enterprise. Then you can bring it as well. Or you have the one to connect to relational database. Maybe you work with organization that using Oracle, SQL Server, SAP HANA, all these options that are available in here. And if you don't see any of this, you want to pull the data through the scripting, you can do it as well. As I said, is you can use Python or you can use R. Okay. Once you add your data, Insight will interpret and model it for you and give you a different icon for different type. So there is an icon for the location, there is an icon for the numeric field, categorical, date, and even they also show the subcomponent in here. So like date is a subcomponent of the date. Okay. So it is quite a smart charting or smart display of the data. Okay. All right. So because this is combining the capability both for working with your traditional table and also the spatial or location table or location data, what you can do here in ArcGIS Insight is enable location. When you enable location, you have 3 options in here. It's either using coordinate, address, or geography. So if your data is already have the XY coordinate field, sometimes you get the data from the GPS, for example, there is a column for X coordinate and Y coordinate, then you can use it. You can use coordinate and just tell what is the X, Y field on that. Or you want to use the geocoding based on address. Okay, so you probably have the address field on that, or you have a point of interest, you have the global address, you can use it as well. Okay, or you use the geography. So you probably have the a layer that provides you with the geography, or you have a field that actually have the country name, for example. Okay? So you can use geography as the to enable location. All right, another thing that I want to mention in here, I will not do it in the demo, but this is a possibility that you can do is if you have your data and your data have the fields, but you want to enrich it with other variable. For example, you want to enrich your data with the population information, maybe with the household spending, maybe with the income. You can do it. So it's ArcGIS Insight also have the capability to do enrichment. So now your data at the end have additional field, which is the variable from the enrichment. Okay, it's very powerful. So then you can do more analysis. Table relationship in here as usual, you can do join. Normally you do it for the common value at common field, then you do the tabular join. But remember, this is location enable software. So what you can do as well, you can do spatial join. Spatial join is based off common location. So you actually can join the two attribute table based on the common location, maybe based on the country, the county, or even a point location as well. What else you can do? You can do filtering. We have many different types of the filtering. There's actually 4 different types to filter. First, you can filter at the data set level. That will apply to the entire page. Or you can filter at the card level. Okay. So maybe you filter it in your chart, for example. You can do that. The third one, you can do spatial filter. Okay. This option is defining the intersect, or what is does not intersect, what is contained by or not contained by. That will be the spatial filter. Okay. And also you can create predefined filter. So you can set it up for the viewer interactivity. So you're the one that decide what is the predefined filter that you want to create, and then let the user choose from that to interact with your filter or report. Okay. It's kind of like powerful. All right, so that's the data access and preparation. Now, how about the the analysis in here? So, once you the first thing is visualization. You can visualize the data in the chart, table, and map, and there is an interactivity between the charts as well. Okay, and you can add more context from other layers that we have a number of layers, a huge number of layers at the Living Atlas of the world. What you can do in here is a lot of them. Sometimes, because it's so many capability on charting, mapping to explore your data, it's sometimes it's a little bit intimidating to choose the right type and to choose the right chart as well. So this is a little kind of like a graphic that infographic that can help you to go through that process. Okay, so it's broken up with some based on the category, or based what you're trying to communicate. So either you want to detect the change, to detect the relationship, interaction, distribution. This is the kind of like help you. So I'm gonna put in the chat in here the URL. See in here. Ah, Nora is faster than me. Thank you. So here you go. That is the URL already. Thank you. I like this. If somebody that always helping. Awesome. So this is how the card interactivity between selected and cross filter. So when it comes to interactivity between the chart, in this case is the map and the chart, we have two types. Okay, by default, the card will honor selection between each other. So when the chart selection is made, the same record will be selected on the map. Similarly, when the map selection are made, they will be selected on the chart as well. However, we also have one thing called cross filter, and that's need to be enabled. So there is a button that enable cross filters. Once it's enabled, the selection will actually filter the data and only show those records that's selected and hiding the rest. Okay, so if you select on chart, it will filter the map, and then similarly when you do selection on the map, it will filter the data on the chart as well. Okay, so sometimes it's nice to do that. Do you work with only one table, one data? The answer is no. When you explore your data, you can actually add other layer or other data. It's either from your business data, business data or GIS data or our collection of the layers that available from Living Atlas of the World. And again, you can also change the base map if you like to. Okay. All right, let's go move on to the statistical and spatial analysis. This is where we get to answer specific questions that you have. And you want to include something as simple as this, just descriptive statistic or more advanced analytics operation. So how are you going to start? Okay, so you want to answer questions by running a process, method, or procedure. Okay? And you can, the result are also stored as the data and are available for you to reuse. Okay? So if you actually do analysis, interactive analysis, or then you can have it, and then you can do more analysis into the result of that analysis if you like to. How about we start from the simple one, descriptive statistic on the chart. Every chart, there is a little info in that, and you click, it will give you the description and also give you the statistic. Okay? And you can edit the description, you can edit the name of the chart, and then you can see the statistic on that. The chart itself, you can click the chart statistic. You can decide what you want to display. Okay, so you probably want the mean value, median, the sum, you can do that. And every chart has different properties. So the scatter plot, you can actually have the line if you want to add it, and even like give you the R-square value as well. Okay. So there is different options when for the statistic for different type of the card, and also especially the chart. The action button. So most analysis within ArcGIS Insight is exposed through the action button. Where do you find the action button? Is lower right corner. And this is exposed the analytics option. Okay. If for non-GIS user, we list it as the list of find answer. What do you want to find the answer? Do you want to see how it is distributed? Do you want to see how it's related? What is nearby, or what has changed? Okay. But if you are the GIS user already, you may want to click the spatial analysis that will give the tools directly. So let's take a look in here. So in the spatial analysis, it just gives you all the tool, then you probably already familiar from the GIS terminology. But otherwise, you can also click what is the answer that you want, or what is your question, then it will reveal the tools that work for that question. So this is the one that analysis option exports question they're trying to answer. Okay? So within each question, the appropriate tools will be exposed and help you in that area. For example, this one is I want to know how it is changed. Then there is a calculating change, ratio, regression, predict will open and you can choose from that. All right, so in this session, we don't have enough time for deep dive into the analytic capability, but I want to show you that you can, I think I show you in the demo as well, that you can do link analysis, link the map and the chart. Okay, if your data is showing that there is an example in the lesson on the migration, you know, the country of origin and the country of asylum or the country of destination, and you want to see that link, you can do that. There is many different model of the link. There is hierarchical one, there is the center one. So there's a few different type of the link. Okay. And then also there is regression models. If you want to use that more advanced analytics session in here, so you can actually do really play a lot with create the regression model. So you choose the layer, the dependent variable, and what choose the variable that you want and register model statistic on that as well. Okay. And any of you, the programmer, as I said, you can use Python and R. Access the library for analysis or visual, and you can share data between Insight and Python and R, and then use it in the Insight model. Now for this one, I think I have the slide on that. Okay, for this one, for the Python and R scripting, we only make it available for the desktop version of the ArcGIS Insight. So if you work with the ArcGIS online of ArcGIS Insight, that option is not available. Okay. But you should be able to get the license if you want to install it in the desktop. All right, last part. This is the fun part. Like once you finish analysis, you do a lot of data exploration, do the reporting, how you want to leverage your great work, and then share it with others, especially the decision maker. Yeah. So this is back to the ArcGIS, the way of your sharing your data. So you can share your page, your workbook page. You can share the model, or you can share the data as well. Remember, after your analysis, your data probably is getting larger, and then you want to package it and share it as well. So you can share the and you can share it into 3 parts. You can share it to the viewer, or you can share it to other analysts so they can repeat it, they can understand the analysis, they can do more, they can rerun it with the new data. So that's probably you want to share your model on that. For the page, it's really like they can just take a look and the result of your report. Okay? And then you can export it, and this will be different data set, and you can use it in a different system if you like to. Okay, and then this is just the last thing. If you like, you can always like customize a bit, put the logo of your organization, change the color, put the narrative, put the description. So there's text and media widget that you can use. You can also put probably hyperlink if you like to. Okay. And this is the analytical model. Whatever you do in Insight is actually documented, and you can share it. It can be repeatable, it can be edited as well. Okay, so I don't know if you're familiar with model builder in ArcGIS. It's kind of like similar concept, but this one you don't even have to build it. They're just watching what you're doing, and at the end you can see the result. Okay. And packaging, you can also do the package. Okay, when you click share, you can export it as a package. Then the other person or colleague that also have ArcGIS Insight then can unpackage it and use it. That's his work in ArcGIS Online Enterprise and ArcGIS Desktop. Okay? And you can decide whether you want to include the data in the package or just the model or your workbook. Last thing in here, deployment options. So you can have ArcGIS Insight in software as a service. So you just run it in the browser. That's what I'm gonna do in my demo. Or if you have the desktop, you can actually get the license and then install it as a desktop application. Or your infrastructure, meaning if you have the server and you want to install it on the top of the ArcGIS Enterprise, you can do that as well, and you can share it among you as well. So with that, I'm gonna go into the demo. Rita, is everything so far so good?
Yes, thank you. It's great. Thank you.
Okay. Now, for the sake of time, I'm just afraid that my computer is slow as well. I'm gonna share the demo on the using the recorded session here. Let me see if it's already available. Okay, let me see. Okay. And then I can always, and I can share it with you as well in here, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is you have to go to your ArcGIS Online. I believe each of you already have access because you already do the work, some of the exercise using ArcGIS Online. So let me just start it in here. So this is my ArcGIS Online. And then what I tried to do is just go into my launching and then choose the insight in here. Okay. And then once I'm here, I can see my workbook. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just create a new workbook. Okay, so let's wait a little bit to finish adding that workbook. So and then I just prompt into add the data. In this case, I just used to upload the file from my computer. It's a simple Excel file, and the scenario in here is I want to actually explore the return on investment on US colleges or university. So I browse to the location of my data. And then there is data, is public data actually about college scorecard in here. Okay. And there is an Excel. The data is from 2018. It's showing that number of the colleges in United States. Okay. Your exercise will be different scenario, but this one is about the colleges in United States. Okay. So when you add it into here, the first thing you can actually rename your workbook so you know that this will be about the US colleges. And I always save it as well, save it option. Now, if you're working together, you probably also want to put your name at the end. So if there is no same item name in your ArcGIS Online. Okay. And then I go to the, and this is a smart already. So as I noticed in mentioned, each of the field has different icon, different, it's showing the type of the field. And I can, first thing I want to do is I want to enable location. Now this one, I already have a field, latitude, longitude. Okay? So I'm gonna use the coordinates. Again, you can use address or you can use geography as well. Okay. And if you have the same location, I said that, okay, just repeat identical features, that's fine with me. And then I click run. Okay. And notice on the data on the left, it will add a new field, which is the coordinates field. Okay. So you see it in the very top one, there is a coordinate field in this. Okay. So with this coordinate field, then we are ready to actually map it. So I'm gonna put it into the card with the same map, with the name map, and then you see all the points there for the college location. And this is an interactive map, so you can actually make the card bigger. You can zoom in, zoom out, panning. You can click each of them if you like to. Okay, and you can change the base map. So I want the data stand out, so I just change it to the light gray. Okay. And what we can do in here is, again, you can actually interact. I'm gonna zoom it to that US style region, and then I'm gonna drag another field here, type. So now it will be categorized using the type. Okay, so if you notice there is 3 different types, and you can go to the legend in here, the layer option, and you can see there is a private, non-profit, private for profit, private non-profit, and public as well. Okay, and you can just place it anywhere that you like, that label or their legend. Okay, I'm gonna just put it at the very bottom there. And then you can actually configure it more for this legend as well. Okay. So let's take a look in here. That's I'm gonna do, I can change the color, I can change the symbol, but what I'm gonna do in here, I just like show the count. So you can see that how many points actually for public university, for profit, for non-profit. And if you click on the legend, it's actually, and the legend card is actually showing with the selection on the map. Okay. And then you can see the pattern visually. This is the private for-profit universities and the locations as well in the East Coast area. And you can actually switch into the non-profit one. So it's now showing only the non-profit. And then the last one, you can click the public as well. And when you finish with any of this filtering, you just click again, and then it should be fine. Now, what I try to do now is really how is the cost of this university or study in this university distributed across United States region. So I select the cost, I select the region, I drag it and open it in the table. Okay. So as you see in here, there's the 8 region here that you can take a look, and then also at the top under the cost, you can actually select that you want it probably average instead of the sum. And you can take a look which region as the lowest. In this case is the Southwest is the lowest cost region, and the highest one is the New England. Okay, it's kind of like makes sense. All right, so again, you can take a look of this different type of the statistic that you like on this table. But what we can do on this table is not only display it on the table, but we convert it to become a chart. Okay, so on the top of that, you can see the user interface. What we can click is we can click the visualization using chart and many different chart in here. We can just choose at this point a very simple one is a bar chart. It's kind of like easier to see, showing the same data. Okay. And if you like, you can also customize it, and you can change the axis, the name of the X axis and the Y axis as well. So in this case, instead of using the region, let's use the type. Okay. So you can actually change that the field that you want to use right in the chart itself. And you can also play with the rendering. So you can have the same rendering as the map as well. But sorry, my dog is barking. Okay. And then this is the one that's, so I'm gonna change quickly the layer option here and then go into the option. Instead of using single symbol, it's unique symbol. So it's the same as the one on the map as well. All right, so now what we're gonna try is, let's just do another things in here. So let me see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do another analysis in here is actually have the cost and then choose also the earnings. So the idea in here is what is the relationship between the cost of the college and the mean earning after the graduation. Okay, so we have the value of the cost and earning as well. So let's do the chart. In this case is more on the scatter chart. Okay. So we can actually change we can change the access X based on the type. Okay. And we also can enable the line in here. Okay, let me see. Okay. So choose the linear line so you can see the R square, okay, on this. And you can actually select for each of the type as well. Okay. So I enable cross filter between this chart and the map as well. Okay. So now when we select, for example, one of the type of the university, so the private for profit, okay, the line best fit in here is still positive. The R value is dropped to 0.258, meaning that the cost for the profit college has little influence on the earnings for graduates. And we can actually take a look of the non-profit. The R is higher, okay? It's better. And then you can select the public college is a kind of like yeah, you can see that's a kind of like, I think it's better, right? So that's the one that's working with the chart and the map as well. Okay. All right, so let's go and then create the new page, and you can actually drag the data and then put it in the second page as well. Okay. And then what I can do, and then you can rename the page. So it's not only page 1, page 2, you just remain it as you like in here. And then what we're gonna do in here is we're gonna do the calculation. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the map again, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna do analysis in here. So the analysis will be is we want to see the return of investment with these colleges. So I look for the analytic, find the answer in here, and then choose one of them, which is how it is related, and we calculate the ratio. Okay. We start with a very simple one first. We look at the, I believe we look on the earning, and then divide it by the cost. Okay. And then we name it as a new field, okay, ROI, and then run it. And each time the table is show up, and then you can see the table and have the new field, that ROI. I don't need that table. I just want to display it on the map. So, but it is there. Okay. So what I can do here is I'm gonna start putting using the card filter in here. I'm gonna choose that ROI and display it based on the ROI. Well, in this case, then this is showing the expression filter. What I want to do is actually I want to get the, I think the only display those that the ROI higher than average. So which state have the highest percentage above average ROI? So the idea in here is you can actually build your own expression and then filter your data, and then they will show the one that based on your customized expression. And you click apply. So it's actually create a new table there based on your filter. So that's a nice thing, and you can just rename it. It's a new table in here, and then you can start doing the visualization using this new table. I can like run out of the time in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed up a little bit here. Okay. So you get the, what I do in here is I just create a new chart based on the state and the type. Okay. And then you can see this is the ROI based on the count of the dataset college ROI. And then you can see that different state is differently. And if I bring another layer as well, which is for the state, okay, I bring the state layer, and I can divide it based on the state in here, and we can see that eventually that I do another calculations here. Okay, count of the data collect ROI divided by the number of the university, and you can see that's percent above average ROI, and which one is the highest. Okay, so it seems like I think it's Wyoming is the highest one. And you can play with the number of classes and everything's like normal in GIS. Okay. All right, so the last thing that I want to show you in here is just real quick here, you finish, you save your project. What you can do is on the top right corner there, you can actually click the, let's see here. Oh, just want to show you, yeah, the highest one is Wyoming in here. Okay. All right. After I save in here, I want to share my my workflow. Okay. So what I can do here is I just click this button on the top right. So this is the analysis view. This is the one that I talk about the model. So you can actually, everything that I did is captured on this, and you can click again, you can change the data, you can change the analysis, and you can save it, you can package it, you can share it with your friend. Okay, so you can click from the button, it's called share. Okay, so you can share that, and then it will, you put the title, and then you select the type. In this case will be a model, and you can share it. And as usual, you put description, and then where do you want to share it? You want to share it as the public, or you or your organization only, or your group in your class, for example. That will share as a model. Okay. And then if I speed it up, another thing that you can do is you can share it as the again, every card has a description and statistic that you can edit the description and the name. Right? And at the end, what you can do is you can make it nice and share as. In this case, we share it as a page. Right? Then when you share it as a page, and I share it for everyone, for example, and then when I click, then it will be, I can actually view the page or access the page items. So then this is boom. And the top here, you can see the ID or the URL that I can give, because I share it with everybody, then I can give it, and then you can even open it. Okay. All right, so with that, I'm gonna go back real quick to my slide, which is only one slide left. All right, so what I can give is I'm gonna give this copy of all these resources, the live gallery, the case study, and the learn lesson. So my demo is based on the learn lesson. You're gonna do also the learn lesson, the other learn lesson, and we also have the video series on ArcGIS Insight, and there is a short video, 3 minutes. And you already learned 3 ways to visualize data in ArcGIS Insight. All right, with that, I return it back to Dr. Kumar.
Thank you so much, Canserina. That was very, very helpful and very insightful. It's super powerful, and we look forward to sharing one of the exercises with everybody coming up in a few minutes. So everybody will try ArcGIS Insights.
All right, before I go, any questions, any comments, you are most welcome.
Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Is there
any questions? Don't be shy. If it's related to insights or some other thing related to GIS, considering an expert, so please go ahead.
Yes, I actually have a question. This is Rahim.
Yes.
So can you use, I know that there's a geospatial component within the ArcGIS platform, but if you're doing things like underwater, is that a possible component that ArcGIS can include? For example, if you're having to go under waterbeds of river or doing something underneath the ocean, or
yes.
Okay.
Rahim, yes, I like that question. Thank you. Yes, because anything on the maybe and not anything on the surface of the earth, but anything underwater as well. Okay, we can map it, and we even map the Mars. Is anything? It's just like probably the location. The ocean still have location. We can put it on the projection. Okay, but bathymetry is and also underwater oceanography is a big things, especially now that we do multidimensional. So we learn not only mapping the ocean, but also anything in that volume, you know, the temperature, the current, the debris, everything. It's become a very interesting scientific application of GIS.
And then as far as the accuracy, are you using sensors or to act? I'm not sure how like, for example, you mentioned temperature, right? How are
Yes.
you capturing that data?
Yes, it's a lot of scientists is actually put their sensor on the locations on the ocean. Is some people call it, what's it, buoy, buoy, huh? So the one that capture all the parameters. Yeah, we only can map it if there is any data from those sensors. Correct.
Got it. Thank you so much.
And I think I have the let me see, GIS for science here. Give me 1 second. I have the link. I think I can give you. I copy and paste into the chat. So you're probably interested. This is our website on science, and there is an ocean science there. Okay, and you can explore the ocean science. And we actually have 3 books as well, Esri and scientific community as well. So.
Got it. I really appreciate you sharing the resources. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. So there's some example of the ocean science capability there. Global 3D base map of the oceans, Rahim. So not only 2D, we have 3D.
That's pretty neat. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out tonight. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Canserina. Is there any other question, anything you want to ask? Please go ahead. So I think one of the best resources you can find if you have any interest in any of the areas related to GIS or location would be Esri website. They provide a lot of resources, and they are mostly available for special education use. And I think that's something you always are more than welcome to explore. And I know that Esri is very open on sharing resources with education as well as the students. So please go ahead and take advantage of these opportunities. And if you have any other questions, you can always ask me or contact SG people. They're also very communicative. So that's another good thing about SG. Or you can just drive to Redlands, they're close by.
Yes, actually, we're looking forward when we're back. Maybe we do again open house, you know, where the student and the educator can just come for half day and then see us all. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds great. That sounds wonderful.
Yes, and then anytime you have any questions, I'm gonna put my email here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, I let you in the hand of the Manhart and Rita to continue here. Just let me know maybe tomorrow if there is any other question that I need to answer. How about that?
Thank you. That sounds great. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Canserina. Thank you.
All
Just wanted to
right.
thank you for your time. It was fantastic presentation, and you actually have demonstrated so many capabilities within the insight. So that was very eye-opening. So thank you for that.
I think you guys gonna cruising fast because this software is pretty easy.
Absolutely.
All right, and then last thing is I'm gonna put in my chat is our website for higher education. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you so much.
Canserina. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
So I'm going to just close this presentation by going over the facilitators for the workshop series as well as the hands-on tutorial session. Dr. Rita Kumar, she's the director of the Singelyn Center for Innovative Analytics and professor of Tom department. I'm Mirda Kuikamali. I am an assistant professor of CIS and also the co-director of the center. And Ray is the student assistant, and he has been very helpful throughout the whole series. So I just want to thank Dr. Kumar and Rahim. And lastly, I want to also thank the Dean's office staff, student clubs, as well as Manny Ainsa, who is the GIS support assistant. He provided our access to the tool that we are going to explore right now. Any other questions, you can always contact me or any of us. I think we'll be more than happy to kind of guide you or provide answers.